district?
Oh, so education is my hallmark project. When I campaigned, I was clear that if I didn't do anything, I will ensure that more and more kids go to school. And so today we are proud that uh, we are our scholarship now. Some of my folks can call it financial aid, but scholarships, financial aid is a scholarship, but they don't understand this. They think that when it's scholarship, it means it's only from scholarly level in terms of academics. It can be from football, it can be from many perspectives. So our program now has grown up to 6.5 million. We are
6.5 million.
Liberian dollars.
Okay.
That is equivalent to between 45, 47,000, depending on what the rate is going to be on an annual basis. And we've been doing it just from year one of our ascendancy to office. It grew from 2 point something million. Now we are at 6.75 million.
Okay.
The new school year has begun. We are compiling the listing. What we normally do is that those who perform as scholars in terms of getting an average 90 and above, they are automatically retained on our program,
Okay.
and then the rest of the people will go back into the pool and ensure that other people benefit. So we are proud to say that if we did the one-on-one in terms of how many persons have benefited in the past 4.5, 5 years now, we've sent it pretty close to 2,000, 3,000 people to school on our program, and we are proud of that. And we are not going to stop. The new program, the new school years is up. We will be speaking to our schools and our parents so that we have a collaborative effort.
Okay.
Because grooming any person, it got to be society working along with parents and those who lead in academics to make sure that that person is full grown. So again, we're going to be playing our part to ensure that happens. But besides that, there are folks, a lot of young people who we send to college. We don't include them into our entire package because it's based on a case-by-case level. But every school semester, there are about 20 to 30 people who bring their grade sheets, and we do part payment of their college fees.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
Let's look at your impact on the marketers there. In some areas, you hear that, the market people have been given some loan, or there's some loan scheme, or whatever it is. Is it the same as...
No, so we've done something like that. Okay, so two or three things have happened. We were able to give some small package to petty traders. It's not loan was grant because loan, so we pay back.
You gotta pay back, yeah.
Yeah, so we did that also for petty traders. You remember there was a fracas in the around the same market I was talking about, around the beer factory area.
Okay.
And with disadvantaged youth and police, and that led to marketers losing their business. A lot of marketers lost their business. So what we did was to ensure that we gave funding to them to help us to give back some funding for them to get that business up and running.
Okay.
We did that
As a recovery.
recovery
Okay.
recovery fund.
Okay.
There's a warehouse that houses a lot of people who do business around the Douala Bank. Also, it's normally called CDC warehouse. So I hope it doesn't mean because it's called CDC warehouse and I'm a CDC representative, I did that. But because these guys manage, look, there are a lot of people who got potential. They just need pat on the back. Unfortunately for them, that the whole warehouse got burned with all the goods inside. They lost so much. We're able to make sure again we give them funding for recovery so that they can be able to start. At least we ensure that everyone who has some good in that warehouse receives some funding to have them start off their business. So again, we've been working along with we launched our $1 million project for women again in our district through our party structure.
Okay.
To ensure that most of our party women and other women, not necessarily just our party women, but other women who may not be in business now as marketers, but who to start off. That process is ongoing. Excuse me, and we will ensure that we do a lot more to alleviate the hardship on our.
In terms of education, you were able to tell us about the dollars and cents that you spent annually. But talking about giving back to the women, especially recovery funds or whatever it is, we haven't heard anything from
Okay,
you.
so the first funds we gave to women was around 500,000.
Okay.
We're doing another,
Liberian dollars.
yeah, we're doing another 1 million. We did 300,000 to the group at the recovery in the market for their process.
Okay.
We gave about 150,000 to the CDC warehouse. So if you did all of that combination over the years, it's going to be in excess of around 4 million that we've done in terms of giving back for marketeers.
Okay, maybe we may go back into your district, but let me take you up to Capital, where you work. Representative Dixon Seboe, how many of the bills, because part of your responsibility is to ensure that you come up with bills, that will also impact not only a district, but Liberian people as a whole. How many districts can we pinpoint to say this one, the credit can be taken for Representative Dixon Seboe?
No, so one of the things people need to understand is when it comes to lawmaking, it's not automatic. So it only becomes a law when it has gone to the presidency in terms of the two houses signing off. So sometimes you put some things on table and it stays forever.
Okay.
When I became representative, one of the first things I was passionate about is to ensure that those who take our minerals from here, they repatriate the funds straight back to Liberia.
Okay.
So take for example the firestones, like the accelerometer. We said we came up with an export proceed repatriation bill. As good as that bill is, it's still languishing in the capital building.
Why?
Because again we've been telling our folks to understand the rationale. But again, to make a law, people majority of the folks need to understand where you are going. So what it would have done for us, and I still think we still have a window to get it because I'm speaking along with a colleague like Francis Dopo, Hassan Kezulu, Richard Kung, who are on the opposition side, but they, again, because they are financial people, so they are catching up with us on that matter. It will mean that we can see the full value of the minerals that are taken from our country.
Okay.
Resources that are taken from our country, minerals or rubber, whatever it is. So, second thing it's going to do is for us to be able to track that, it will imply that Asli Metal or Firestone or Golden Verion, whoever they are, will sell directly through the banks using what we call letter of credit.
Okay.
With their partners. So again, it's almost like going to be a guarantor from the bank or guarantee from the bank that is going to be used in terms of the sales. Now, when a Liberian bank is involved in that process, it means you're giving business to Liberian banks, and eventually the resources come to Liberia. We see the full value because tax determination is going to be based on that full value. It's still languishing. Howbeit, we are still sure that before this 54th is ended, we will get it out. It's going to be passed. Another thing that we want to take credit for, working along with Honorable Kuhn, is the issue of old folks' home or giving protection and housing to old folks. We've been able to pass that, propose that from our side. It is, I think, it's sitting now still with the Senate. We hope they can do that. It was sponsored and by Honorable Kuhn, co-sponsored by me. The wage bill issue that we talked about in terms of harmonization, for it to have affected the judiciary and other agencies, it had to be done through a bill, the harmonization bill.
Okay.
It was sponsored by Honorable Dopo, myself, Hassan Kezulu, and Richard Kung. We needed to do those. One of the bills that we've just done and is now gone to committee room is the issue of MCSS. MCSS, as you know, again, this is not our district, it's the entire Morovia.
Okay.
MCSS, as you may know, does not cover all of the schools that we think supposed to be in Morovia. Well, when you look at the demarcation of Morovia, sometimes it's difficult to know where Morovia starts, where it goes. So, but we have proposed, and now it's in committee room, and it's going to get out quickly because we want to start in this school year. In fact, is that MCSS jurisdiction runs to what I refer to as Greater Morovia, that is starting from the Seboe Bridge in going through the core world, doing Bannersville, Garnersville, Stephen Tower Estate, Painesville, and coming all the way from our towards Ara 2 and then into Central Morovia. It means that MCSS now will have control over school at Painesville High School. This is not an MCSS school.
Okay.
This Painesville school. Goodrich in Bannersville is not an MCSS school.
But it's a government-run school.
It's a government-run school. It sits under the you see, it sits under the Ministry of Education, and it has got no jurisdiction from MCSS.
Okay.
We think that if you give MCSS more to do as they are doing now, there will be better control. The ministry now will sit as more supervisory and be able to manage information as given by MCSS.
Okay.
That bill is
It's still languishing in...
no.
Okay.
It's just went to committee.
Okay.
We it just went to committee, and we are sure that it's going to come up as soon as possible because again, we have built the consensus necessarily, and a lot of people are in line to ensure that that works.
Now, you spoke about three different bills, Representative Dixon, Seboe, and the first one I take serious interest. Is it that your lobbying power is not as strong as one would think, for which that bill regarding our minerals, regarding the full value of our minerals, still language in the
Look,
community?
when you do bills, it's not just about lobbying. It's about, well, there are some competing interests. Take for example, if we start talking about this bill as it is written, those who do business here will be fighting the bill also.
Okay.
You got to understand that. I mean, because a lot of people want to conceal. So I strongly believe some of the reasons we've been delaying is some of the opposing fights from people who have got interest.
Okay.
You understand? But beyond that point, I think our colleagues have understood now what we really want intended, and so I'm sure we're gonna get over that hurdle. I'm gonna be having a meeting with the speaker. We can withdraw it from the committee that was working on it, and then we can give it to a special committee so that it can be passed quickly.
Let me ask for your honest opinion. What do you think? Yes, I know you work in the legislature. You don't work in the Senate. But what do you think about the performance of the national legislature, not only the House of Representatives and the Senate, but the national legislature?
Look, legislatures over the world are the dumping ground. Every country you go to, any negative thing that happens in the country, that legislators. So we have got a tax on
But why do you think people do have that perception with legislation?
Well, because again, it's from us that the country is supposed to run. We supposed to set the ground rules in terms of everything else. So because of the negativity, especially in our country and how gullible our society is, people tend to think that we are the worst people. But the job we do is to ensure that we bring some sanity here, to ensure that the bread basket in terms of the budget is distributed such that every sector of the economy gets something. I mean, it's difficult, especially when you run a budget, for example, that is less than 1 billion as a country. We're just hitting 800 million. I hope the budget performance this year will actually catch us to the 800 million so that we move past this 1 billion target that has been set since hell was apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll give you an example. When we did the harmonization, people with a few percent salary reduced. I say few percent because when you do the numbers, far less people's salary reduced than people whose salary went up.
Okay.
From ourselves, we cut 31% of our income.
The legislature.
Yeah. But guess what? We take the blunt of it. Today, when you're talking about, by the time you say, who making money, the first thing you can, the legislators, they make it back. No, you don't understand. We managed to cut, and we took that decision. At one point in time, we even took a decision to waive all of our incentives during the corona because there were competing needs, especially to get PPEs and equipments and everything and medication for the corona process. So we took a blunt of our benefits and gave them. Howbeit, the public still sees the legislature as uh, the place where people not doing anything when things go bad.
Don't you think it is as a result of some of the elements or some of the individuals in the legislature?
Yes, so you will not
because
have a
if
you
you
would-
can
you will not have a
if you can recollect, I followed the president's last tour in Montserrado when he visited one of the districts, and the representative was highly booed by his people. And don't you think that could be some of the reasons
No,
for which?
so again, I'm not going to sit here and give credence to a colleague of mine being booed for any reason. I'm not going to sit here to do that. But there will be almost
No, because of the
there
poor
will al-
performance by
no, no,
some
no.
of you
So
in the legislature.
So poor performance is going to be based on a couple of things. One, what did I say I would do when I was campaigning? How is my gradation in terms of what I said I would have done? Two, what is my stance on serious national issue? How often do I make a case for my district and or for the country? So again, depending on who is grading, now if you ask somebody who has an inherent, I don't say hate, but opposition for Dixon Seboe in my district, they'll tell you, say, that man I want that, who will beat that one, you
That
don't
man
know.
not doing
That
anything.
man not doing nothing. I chose to afford to you. So during my birthday, I chose to go to Redemption Hospital to identify with the patients. So
Okay.
all of the food we prepare for my birthday was intended for patients who were on bed. So some people came to my house early in the morning to do happy birthday with all the pain.
Yeah.
So one woman said, I'm pure. I said, no, today not for you.
Uh-huh.
Today for
The patients, the sick
patients.
people.
So they say, see people represented since 2018, you do nothing for me. So I look at her for lunch, say, oh no, you bought the last time you bought my one dress. So the point I'm making to you is depending on who you speak with, you will get the kind of response you want to get. So if you went to my district and you spoke to somebody like one woman I call Mary Bro, when she start telling you from community to community interventions I've done, you think that I am the most perfect representative. When you cross the road, you go speak to one other man. When he dirty man news to you, you will not even believe it. So the point is, but on the overall, there must be some yardstick that shows who have done well. So, for example, if you take an independent survey, different institutions have done that. You will see the grading from each of us as far as our work in our district, based on our own promises and our workings on Capitol Hill. And again, a lot of us have done well based on the gradings that have come up. But again, the perception is the legislature is a bad place to go to or to work. But again, people need to see the kind of work we do and what we bring to the table.
Okay, just quite recently, I understand you were somehow vocal and you were against this whole pension and benefit bill that originated from this from this Senate. What was the rationale behind all of your positions?
No. So I want to see, I'm still thinking about the rationale from the Senate level first. Because, look, pensions are meant for contributions.
Okay.
If you don't contribute to a scheme, you don't get. I have some serious problem with the pension as it is being run by NASCAP, which I'll bring up a little. But I have said consistently, for us to be pensioned or to benefit after we leave public office, besides a few people, which is provided by, that is the presidency, the vice president, the president, the speaker, the chief justice, and what have you, they are dedicated people. So it's already done. But for us at our level, to say that when I leave office and hypothetically I'm making 7,500, to give me 3,500, 3,750. I just sit down to my house in Nugu Town, I cram my leg, I drink tea in the morning, I'm working nowhere.
And the close of the month?
And the close of the month is $3,750. It is not just insane, it's diabolical. How did it come up with that? Again, I was on record on Thursday. Before my colleagues even went to session, I was on record that we will vote against it. For us to benefit from pension, contribute. The laws are clear. Do 100 months contribution. Now, I have worked with EcoBank before, FIB. I work with the Ministry of Finance in different capacities. I work with Lone Star. I got 20 years of serious work experience. 20 years. If I did my calculation in terms of all the places and I get my record straight, I already benefited from pension.
Surely.
I should already benefit because it's 100-month contribution. That means 8 years of work with few months. Because 8 times 12 will be around 96. I don't know what are the miles they correct. But so that 8 years and 4 months I should have worked and have worked in essence of that. That is if I can get my records straight. So already I'm supposed to be benefiting from pension when I retire. Howbeit, it still does not stop me now if I want my pension in terms of what I will get to go up, because the pension is going to be based on your last salary in terms of the highest salary you have done.
Sure.
So if my highest salary is going to be as a representative, then it still makes sense for me to continue to even contribute, because it means now my pension is going to be calculated on my highest salary we have made. You understand? So for us to benefit, the first thing should have done is to make sure that we have contributed the amount of contribution we should do. For you to say we should just sit down and put our hands in our pocket because we are legislators and we do 2 terms, so we must benefit automatically from pension. I mean, it's not pension. In fact, you know what it is?
What is it?
It is just getting salary. To discuss pension, you must discuss contribution.
Okay.
So the president is not going to be paid after his presidency. Ellie is not receiving pension from the Liberian government. She's receiving pay as former president, as enshrined in the law. That pay she's receiving.
Okay.
So what we're going to be getting based on what the Senate passed is not pension. It is pay. But we're sitting down home and we're getting pay. That's what they wanted. For us to get pension, let's contribute to the process.
Now,
So again, the law is ugly, it's nasty, it makes sense. And thankfully, I was not in session on Tuesday, on Thursday, but as it was entering our place, it was being sent out. It's not because of what the public was saying, it was because it did not meet the requisite meets and bounds that we had thought about. Again, the room is not closed. I am saying, I'm going to be proposing to our colleagues from the 2 sides that we need to make sure we don't need to pass a law. We just need to make sure we come out with a program such that our contributions are sent to NASCO. We need law.
okay.
We just need to make sure
Send
payments.
our contribution there.
Down, and then you'll benefit.
0776-540-987 or better still 0880-514-096. That's the number to call, and you are live on the SMS this morning. 0776-540-987 or 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Okay, this is Abenigo Newton. I do join from Prettywood, Marina County.
Let's hear from you, Abenigo.
Thank to you, Father Job, for your program this morning. Very nice. And thank to the honorable man posted at your studios. And I follow the genesis of the expressions, I think, on post. And for me, I want to do my hair that the Senate made mistake in executing a law that should give a pension benefit. I want to do that. I was very skeptical about that particular issues that they did, because I expect the Senate to be the spectrum of examinations of the law of our state that will execute law that will give good aspirations to some of us. Because, for example, I will speak to you, I'm a high school graduate. After my graduation, I lose my father. Currently, my mother turns 60 years of age. Financially, we are disabled. So the best way we can be hopeful to live in the country is when the lawmakers execute laws that will help us to sustain independent living. So for me, at this regard that bills, I see that bill to be politically satisfactory because it's unacceptable to me. Thank you for the time.
Many thanks. 0776-540-987 or better still 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Seboe George. Good morning to our studio guests. My name is David Garago Wise, and I'm phoning from the headquarters of the Veterans Bureau on the Bagwe Avenue in Togo. Let me appreciate again, and let me appreciate the House of Representatives in general. They did exceptionally well, by rejecting that draconian bill, that bill that is not in the interest of the Liberian people. For God's sake, Why would you be telling the Liberian people to continue to pay you while you are not on job? It's very much unfortunate. Those people are not serving the interest of the ordinary people in this country. They must be told in our faces that they are not doing well for the Liberian people. Why would they say this bastard and such an ass? It's very much unfortunate. The very people that is going down there to represent, they will come back to us and say we should use our tax, we should use the tax money to pay them when they are out of job, even when they are dead. You get the money to their wives and their children. It's unfortunate. So what more for other people who are going to school? What more for other people who are going to the job? So thank you for affording me the opportunity this morning.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this other call on the line quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you this morning, sir?
I'm okay.
My name is Joseph Divine Tome. I call from Seboe in Maryland County.
Let's go right ahead.
Thank you, sir. Let me say good morning to the representative in the studio. Mr. Dixon, thanks so much for the elaboration. My concerns are, first of all, I'd like to commend the House of Representatives for trashing that unfortunate bill, that I think is only meant to perpetuate, or enrich former lawmakers. But my concern has to do with the House of Representatives. We can recall that a week or months ago, the House intended to pass a law that massively and harshly increased the previous or the fees that they paid, which is 500 to 5,000. In my opinion, I want the lawmaker to explain the rationale or why they took that decision to increase the current fees to what they attempted to do. And lastly, what happens to the 30,000 they continue to receive from the Liberian people twice? I think these things are unfortunate also. And I think the lawmaker should stay in the gap to explain to the Liberian people what is when it comes to accountability, who do they report to as it relates to the 30,000 they continue to receive, on two different occasions. Thank you.
Many thanks. And let's take this call on the line quickly. 0776-540-987. Good morning.
Seboe, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is Pascal Davis from District 6 and
Yes.
a member of the National Response and the team. Well, thank you so much. And I want to say kudos to Mr. Seboe. He spoke so well. They built from the Senate. They clearly tell us that they've not even understood the workings of the Senate because they do not know the meaning of the word pension. Are they going to be pension? If you are elected to a post and your time elapsed and you still have the right to contest, and you contested and got defeated, is that what you refer to as being pension? What sort of people we got in the country? Come to think about this. Were they pensions? Are they going to be pensions? In 2023, there will still be senators who are served 9 years and who will still want to contest. If you are defeated, are you being pensioned? You must obtain certain age. In the case of the Supreme Court, where there is an age limit that when you reach, the Constitution says you exit. Even as a civil servant, there are ages range that when you obtain that age, you exit. That is pension. Now where you go to election and you are defeated, they say we will pay you. We got to be honest and to conclude here, please. Mr. Seboe, the reason why there's more pressure on you guys at the lower house or at the legislature in general is just simple because of one thing, oversight. When a minister of finance, for example, or a minister of foreign affairs, for example, or public works is not working, the whatever who can address or take our grievances into the legislature because of the oversight. And this is the reason why there's immense pressure.
Okay, you made your point already. Let's keep this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
This is Edward calling from the County of Montserrado.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for discussing the issue concerning national concern. To begin with the legislature, firstly, I want to tell them thank you for the time, for them working in the interest of the Liberian people. But there are some issues that they are doing that is not going along with us as citizens. when it comes to benefit issue, I don't think they should be making laws in the interest of them. We should be asking the citizens, this is what we discuss. What do you say? But instead of them asking, they go ahead, putting those things in order to enrich themselves. And I think if you are a leader and working only in the interest of yourself, you are not a good leader. Therefore, I'm consulting each and every one of them to desist from such attitude, because that will not help our nation.
Okay, you made your point already. You made your point already. Let's take this other call on the line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Saba. Good morning to the studio guest.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, Mr. Saba, my name is Ben Chaki, sorry for being late in you. Yeah, this morning I called to salute the full representative that is studio because I follow his bike. But this is the studio I take this morning and I highly salute this morning.
Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. I think you made your point already. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. George. How good morning?
I'm okay, sir.
Okay, this is Kevin Nina from District 16.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Uncle Seboe.
How are you, Kevin?
Yeah, fine. I called especially to say thank you to the lower house, most especially for the level in which you guys perform to the best of us who are citizens of this country. The point that I want to raise is that I don't know why the Senate will have to pass or we have to suggest to, after being leaving a position as senator, then we should give them money as pension. Like the recorder said, that is not a pension. You go to election, you lose election, you sit down. One senator will be there for 18 years, then if you leave the position, then will be paying you while you stay alive? No. So thank you very much.
Let's take this final call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. There is more Orita don't call you from Chicken Soup and friend of Casper. We are.
Okay.
First of all, I want to say kudos to my representative, Seboe. I want to congratulate them. They represented their hard work and they pay for we the Liberia people. Can you imagine doing any 12 years the people saw a book of concession in the Republic of Liberia today that 40 people, they saw people. People are being sold. Today, they make the hardship is all about people at the end of the day. The same people that did nothing, today they say Liberians are suffering. So I want to tell my lawmaker that thank you. Let God protect them and let them keep it up.
Many thanks, man. Let's go back to the studio guest to respond.
Let me start by saying I hope we can be able to meet sometime later because I'm concerned about issues that are being raised from at the level of NEC.
Okay.
You know, we are moving to biometric, and there are all kinds of negativity in the public space.
Okay.
Let me be on record. NEC has taken the best decision for us to move towards biometric registration. It's going to help us as a country. It's going to show some transparency in terms of the fairness of the voter roll. It's going to minimize a duplicate to make that point very clear in as much as we've raised some issue from the technological point of view. Our issues that we raise have got nothing to do with us not wanting the biometric registration.
Okay.
We will support the NEC to ensure that the system works well and all Liberians are registered so that their voices are heard during the elections. I just thought to make that point very clear before proceeding. Most of the callers are concerned about this Senate issue and the bill that was raised and questioning the rationale. I'm not going to go down that lane. I'm just going to say for the record that we don't need a law to benefit from pension. We have NASCAP. The pension laws are clearly written. If we must benefit from pension, we must pay our contribution. Worst case, if I'm defeated next year, which is almost not possible, I don't get a job an appointed job. I can do my own business. I pack my bags. I go to LU campus and AUWA. All of the campuses teach financial management and mathematics. I know that one, and teach banking.
Okay.
I am not going to require the people of Liberia to pay me while I sit home and do nothing. So I'm not going to discuss anything further with that law. I'm not going to listen to the rationale behind it. That's just it. Pay your contribution and benefit from pension. Uh, Pascal raised a very good point that some of the pressure we have on us is because of our oversight is not at the point. I tend to agree with him also. Again, we need to be real. We need to stamp our feet some more. We the public cannot be crying on an issue, for example, this issue about flooding. I mean, I know it's a phenomenon across the globe, but again, there are requisite institutions that must up their games. For example, the EPA,
Okay.
environmental protection, the national disaster. I mean, when things of this nature happen, we got to be able to raise the bar. So, I agree with Pascal. We need to do a lot more when it comes to how much authority we stamp when it comes to our oversight.
Oversight,
I
okay.
mean, I don't disagree with him. Tumbe asked two questions about the issue of increment into on the elections of the fees. Again, the rationale, it was not done on a selfish background. Of course, the Senate has also, you see the ball go back and forth. The Senate has rejected, and so we are having a conference committee. The rationale beyond that was to issue from two perspectives. One, every country in the world, I mean, most countries in the world, when people run for public office, they are seen as people want them to be. And so people generate funds for them to get to that level.
Okay.
We thought it would discourage this syndrome that lawmakers are the people who supposed to have all of the resources and people come to them every day. We were thinking that if we think Seboe George is going to be a good representative, what stops us from generating funds to support his campaign, to support his registration? So our mindset was, if we increase the fees for even registration, it would mean if someone cannot afford and people want him to be, they will generate money because they see leadership in him.
Surely.
That's one. The second issue is, again, elections are expensive. You understand? Sometimes the election commission cry. So we're thinking that it's important that even from our registration process, the elections commission can generate some funding that could be moved towards the cost of elections. Again, we can go back and forth, but I just wanted to be very clear. It is not for selfish reason. It is because we think that it's going to do more for us as a country and make us more accountable. So, for
But
example,
it could also disenfranchise other people.
no. So, look, if I want to be a leader at the level of being elected, it does not mean I should have funds. It should mean that because I want to be a leader, it means that people already believe in me and know my ability to lead. So even though I am broke from Nikutown, very broke, but because the people of Nikutown know that I can lead, they will galvanize resources to make me sure I win. And then you know what I will do? It will even make me more accountable. I will not take myself as a law. I will take myself that I was made by the people, and that was the rationale. And unfortunately, they didn't see the whole package. They were looking from a selfish point of view. But again, like I said, the Senate has to give up their own version, and so we're going to meet in the conference committee to have a way out. Anything that will come our way, in my view, will be in the best interest of our country. You talked about the 30K. Look, again, for the record, I even want it to be 60. Yeah, we need to understand the rationale for which we did this. And in as much as the system is not very vibrant in terms of the accountability part of it, but for some of us who have benefited from that funding, we can pride ourselves that we've done something with it in our different district. Go to district number 15, for example. You see Abu Kamara. One of the things he did with that money that came up, he ensured that he was able to work along with the LEC, the lights are in his district. In my district, I ensured that a police station was built that was dedicated. So in as much as it would go on the overall, someone will say, what the executive can do it, the time it would take for me to be able to make a case to finance minister that I want depot in my district, and he be looking for where the resources will come from. If we put in the budget that you must give each of us certain amount of money that must go towards engagement and doing project in our district, it will be a shortcut to all of